I'm Engineer Dr. John Sheye Olanrewaju. I'm the engineering lead for TracTrac Mechanization Services Limited. A planter is one of the farm machineries for planting, and it can be used for planting seeds, grains, tubers, and even stem cuttings like cassava. Now, a planter does not work on its own without being attached to a machine. And one of the machines that moves the planter is the tractor. Here, and what we are promoting is a local, indigenously manufactured tractor, which we call tractor. And it is a three-wheeled tractor. And the advantage of this is small and is affordable and is suitable for smallholder farmers. Apart from the planter, this tractor comes with a trailer. It also comes with an arrow and also a plow. And the sequence of operation is plowing the field, then arrowing it, and then we use the planter to plant the seeds. As to the second question on the importance of planter for mechanized agriculture, one, it helps in precision farming because it helps in precisely dropping the seeds in the holes set by the planting mechanism. Another thing is that the planting population can be easily estimated and calculated. Another importance is it saves time. It reduces labor costs, and also it helps in mitigating hazards of, let's say, weather hazard. Talking of types, there are different types of planters. One, based on the number of rows it plants. We have single-row planter, two-row planter, and multi-row planter. But as far as smallholder farmers are concerned, then the two-row or the single-row planter, like what we have here, is best suitable for smallholder farmers. Why? Because one of the characteristics of smallholder farmers is that they have fragmented land. So which means that the smaller the land, then the smaller the planter should be. Another type of planter is you have the seed drills. So depending on the types of crop you want to plant, that will lead to the selection of the proper and appropriate type of planter. Farmers need to check what type of grains or seeds they are going to plant, what is the nature of their soil, and then what is the size of their land, and also what precision or what is the plant population that they intend to have. Those are the things that affect the choice or the selection of the types of planter. Farmers and most users of agricultural machines make the common mistake by not properly reading the manuals that comes with the machines. Then with respect to planters, improper calibration can lead to erroneous planting depth and then neglecting the soil condition. This could be the texture, the nature of the soil, the structure, and then possible compaction. Another mistake is not even monitoring what your machine is doing. They thought, okay, once we set it, then it continues to work. Whereas the machines can fail at any time. So proper and continuous monitoring are what is needed. The another thing is, at times the land is not well prepared. So the terrain of the land, maybe due to slope or variation in the slope or the terrain or variation in the preparation of the land, is another common mistake which farmers need to guide against. Yes, thank you. Since the planter is majorly going to work on the soil, though one of the characteristics of the soil affects the performance of the soil of the planter. The first characteristic that affects the planter's performance is the soil texture. This is based on the clay, silt, and loam content. And this actually determines the water retention level in the soil. For clay soil, we are able to retain water and is easily compacted. So planters that are not equipped to work in clay soils will not be able to perform optimally in clay soils, while silt or sandy soil may be easily loosened, but some planters may not work perfectly in this type of soil. So we need to pay careful attention to the soil texture. Another soil characteristic that affects the planter's performance is the soil structure. That is the arrangement of the particles of the soil within the soil profile. So this ultimately affects the performance of the planter. Another characteristic of the soil that affects the performance is the soil moisture, the moisture content in the soil. For example, if the soil is too moist, the seeds may not germinate, and so the soil needs to be friable before you can effectively use the planter. And lastly, based on the soil characteristics, compaction. A compacted soil may be difficult to operate using the planter because the soil needs to be loosened, and this will also prevent the germination and the root development of the planted seeds. So like I said before, that one of the common mistakes that farmers make is not paying attention to the nature of the soil. And the nature of the soil or the type of the soil determines the type of planters we use. Some planters come with the equipment, the auger that loosens the soil. So even when the soil is compacted, it can work on that soil. While some other planters do not have such facilities. So knowing the type of soil I'm going to work on will actually determine which type of planter I'm using and which type of planter I get. For smallholder farmers, the planters they need most is the ones that is best suited to their environment, because the cost of getting one is actually a case. That is a question of maintenance. Basically, you have 5 types of maintenance. We have the preventive maintenance, we have the corrective maintenance, then we have the breakdown maintenance, we have the turnaround maintenance, and then we have the last type of maintenance, which I will not tell you now. If you want to hear that, subscribe for part 2. Anyway, for preventive maintenance is the daily check you do on the machine to see that it is actually ready and fit for the operations it is going to perform. If we were properly done preventive maintenance, we help you not to be doing breakdown maintenance as the machine works. And so the type of maintenance that the farmers should daily check all the different components of the machine, whether they are in good order and in good working condition. And should in case the machine break down, you should be able to easily access the part sellers around, and that is another influence of equipment selection. If I bring a machine from Japan that I cannot easily get the parts, broken down parts, then that means the operation for that year will be flopped. And so because of that, easy access to machine parts is another thing that farmers should know before getting the planter, and so that when the machine breaks down, they can easily get the parts and fix it. Another thing that they need to do is they need to know how to properly operate it, and that is a case for proper training. Without proper training, no matter the type of maintenance you do, you are going to be going back to square one. Yes, the planter is just a small machinery, and so we encourage farmers to put it in a safe place one for security, then in a shade that where the weather effects will not affect it, such as the rain and excessive sunshine. Another thing is properly lubricating it before storing and then covering up. Well, we've told the MSPs that the equipment we are giving them, the tractors and all the implements, are assets and they are revenue generating equipment. The first thing they need to know is to be able to convince the farmers to use their services. And these MSPs have been trained and properly trained, and retraining will be ongoing, as well as on-the-job training for them to effectively serve their farmers. So the people always say that first impression lasts longer. So if the trainees demonstrate their skill on the field, the farmers will be convinced. Another thing is that once they help them to properly prepare their land, and they test it on their land, and they compare it with those people that do manual labor, manual planting, the difference will be clear. And so they can use this planter to generate additional revenue apart from land preparation.